Welcome back to the Hot Sugar Collective podcast, where the sugar is hot and reality bites. I'm Emerly Ann Miller, and today I'm talking with Kimberly Rivers. She's been a longtime friend of
Mhm,
mine, and we have competed with and against each other over the years, and we've become pretty good
mhm.
friends. So we're going to be talking about being on Holiday Wars, being on Halloween Wars, as well as what you have done in the industry, your cake business, and our relationship throughout the years. So, Kim, can you please give us an introduction into who you are, your business, all of that?
Oh my goodness. Well, my name is Kimberly Rivers, and I started Cakes in the City, Utah, back in 2019, right before COVID hit. And it started at my business actually picked up really quick, and so got kind of a really good start before COVID did hit, which was awesome, because it was a really great thing to do during COVID, actually, to set my mind at ease and to have a safe place to go. Um, Anyway, but yeah, I started out just doing normal cakes. I originally started out doing cakes for my little kids. My son, he was 2, and I thought, oh, I'll do my very first cake. So I decided to do a train cake, and I had my cake box mix, and I had my canned frosting, and I went to work. And I just followed the directions. It said, put back in the freezer, take back out, put back in the freezer, take back out. So I just kept doing that, and I ended up creating something that was really fun. And I just fell in love with the whole decorating cakes. And from there, I was like, hey, well, now I need to make it taste good. So we need to start, developing recipes and things. And so I had worked on that for a few years before I actually started my business. So as I was making cakes for my friends, or sorry, for my kids, my friends started asking for me to make cakes for them. And so then that's when I decided to start my business. So I just started with theme cakes, and then I started getting orders from strangers, which was really exciting because I had never had anyone that I didn't know order a cake from me. And then from there I thought, well, what could I make like a wedding cake? Like that would be so cool. Like they're so big and they're so tall, and like how do you stack them? How do you do that? So I was really, really curious about that. So I ended up doing one for free for my nephew, and then my neighbor asked if I would do one for them, and so I did a couple, and then again I put those up on my Instagram, and then people started ordering, and so from there it just kind of snowballed, and it just picked up way faster than I ever thought possible. And that's actually where I met Emily. Is I thought, well, now I need to know for sure what I'm doing. So she had a wedding master class, and so like a wedding cake master class, so I went and took that from her, and I learned so much. And ever since then, she has been such an amazing mentor to me. And I've really enjoyed getting to know her. But then, yeah, years later, here we are. We were able to compete on Holiday Wars, or sorry, not Holiday, but Halloween Wars together. So that was super fun. But that's kind of how I got started. One thing led to the next thing. And then, I got asked to be on Holiday Wars. That's why I was getting confused. And that was back in 2022. And they asked me to be the sugar artist, and I had hardly dabbled in sugar at all. It's a totally different medium than cake. Very, very different, as you know, huh?
Yes.
Yeah, I'd only taken a couple classes. And so when I got put on the show, I was really like a deer in headlights. I had no idea what I was doing, but I got put on an amazing team, and we had so much fun. We ended up winning all of the episodes except for one, and actually won the whole entire finale of the show.
You won
Um,
most of the episodes?
yes, yeah, we
I'm so
did.
sorry. I haven't
Yeah.
watched it. I refuse. No offense
Yes.
to you, but I refuse. And we'll talk about that, but continue.
Yeah. So I think we did 6 episodes total, and we won 5 out of the 6. And it was just so fun. And I just never, I just wanted to go in there thinking, okay, I just want to like not get out the first episode. That's all I want to do. I've never done a show. I don't have any expectations. I just want to learn and grow. And so that's what we did. And then it was on to the next one, and then the next one. And then we got to the end, and I couldn't believe we were still there. And as you know, shows are exhausting. They're so tiring, mentally and physically. And
Well,
so,
especially those marathon
yes,
shows. Like I've done
yes,
one and
yes,
done, and you're like, that was easy. We won one
yes.
episode. It's great. And now I get to call myself a
Mhm,
champion from one episode. And then these
mhm.
shows, like, it's
Yeah.
not just a skill set and the timed competition, it's also endurance
Mhm,
and people who are not physically able to keep up with that marathon. Like those are the
mhm.
people who often drop out, whether they have the skills or not. So that's
Yes. Yeah,
yeah, that's a
yeah.
skill in and of itself to be able to just make it through.
Right,
And
right,
going for like 2
absolutely.
weeks straight. Go on.
Yeah, yeah, no, and I was so nervous, so nervous and so much anxiety. I was not sleeping at all. Like, my teammates are like, "Yeah, I slept good. I got 6 hours or whatever." I'm like, "That's amazing. I got like 1.5." Like, I literally
Right?
could not shut my brain off, and I could not get to a place where I was like, I just was obsessing about the show and like what was going to happen and how it's going to work. And so, yeah, it's really stressful and it was really hard. So it was really fun though. Yeah. So yeah.
Okay. Well, I have a lot of notes about what I would love to circle back to, but okay, so you did Holiday Wars back in, you said 2022.
hmm
So you did that. Fantastic experience. Your first show right out the gate. You win most of the episodes. You win the show
hmm
overall. That's crazy. And then you just recently were on Holiday Wars again, and
hmm
then Halloween Wars,
Yes.
which is not necessarily the order of events you experienced it.
Exactly.
So I want to talk
Yeah.
about like how you went from that to maybe what motivated you to come back to and try Halloween Wars again, and how you ended up back on Holiday Wars.
Yeah. So I actually, after I had won that show, I was like, well, sweet, I'm done. Like Holiday Wars food champion. Like, great. What else do I need?
Mhm.
But then I had such an amazing experience and I learned so much that I thought, you know what, it's not really about winning at this point. I have that. I got that title. That's awesome. I'm so excited. It was about the experience and learning and meeting all these amazing, talented people and networking. And it was just that whole experience that I was like, hey, that's why I'm doing it. That's what I want to do.
Mhm.
And so they actually had approached me and asked if I would come and be on or Halloween Wars. And so I said, yeah, I'll take that opportunity. Plus, Halloween Wars is such an amazing show. I feel like it's got a little more hype than the holiday side. And I thought that would be
Yes.
really fun. So yeah, so that's how I ended up on that show. And then do you want me to kind of go into more of what happened?
I
Yeah.
Yes, let's talk about what
Yeah.
happened. So, Kim and I, ended up on Halloween Wars that just barely aired. So,
hmm
we are on this season, season 15, and we saw each other on set. I didn't know that you got casted. I actually did know that Kylie, our other friend, she was casted. So I have been recording a
hmm
3D cake masterclass with Kylie at the time. We were talking a lot back and forth, and she's like, "Oh my gosh, I got casted for Halloween Wars." Oftentimes, like even as friends, we don't tell each other when we're on shows. It's usually a top secret, and it's just like
hmm
surprise. So
hmm
I did know about Kylie. I didn't know about you.
Uh-huh.
But I did know there was someone else on set who
Mm.
got casted, and the
Okay.
reason why is because we do these edible photo shoots all the time together, and one of the photographers that we frequently work with is a really
Mhm.
close friend of mine, and she is
Yeah.
always having to sign release forms as the photographer. So as you get casted on these shows, they're like, "Hey, send us a bunch of photos that we can use as assets for the show when we're getting to know everybody." And so I went to her and I was like, "Hey, I need you to sign some stuff. I just got cast. No, actually, it was before I got casted because
Yeah.
I only had a 24-hour notice." But I was like, I went to her and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, guess what? Like Kylie's on Halloween Wars," and she's like, "Yeah, I know. I signed her consent forms."
Mhm.
I'm like, "Oh yeah, that makes sense." She's like, "There's someone else, but I'm not going to tell you." So, anyways, I knew there's someone else. I get on the set and you're there, and we've worked together for so many years. And seeing that you were also there was so exciting. You, me, Kylie, we all live together in Utah, and we are constantly seeing each other. And it's just, I don't know, it was just
Mhm.
very exciting.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, we were all on different qualifying episodes. They split up
Mhm.
all the teams in the first two episodes, and I was up against Kylie, but you were on the other
Mhm.
episode. So let's
Mhm.
just giving some context. You can take it over from there. What
Yeah,
happened?
no. Well, I have to tell you when I found out you were on the show,
Oh
because
no.
I found out that Kylie was there, of course, and so we connected and stuff. And then I remember like walking into the hotel and I saw you, and I'm like, "What are you doing here?" Or was it vice versa? You walked in and I was in the hotel. It's been a
There's so
while.
many people there.
But I just
Yeah.
remember being like, "Oh my gosh," you're like, "Yeah, I just got put on, they needed an extra person, so they put you on." And I was so excited. And I know like some people are terrified to be like, "Oh, and I have to compete against my friends." But for me, it was like a
Mhm.
comfort because I'm like, you and Kylie are such a mentor to me that it was just like so awesome to have you guys there. And anyway, it was awesome. So I loved every minute of it.
Dang it, I
Yeah.
didn't intimidate you. No, I would
uh,
say, like, That's something that, kinda going back to, like, you saying that with these shows, one of the things you get out of it is, like, this energy and the learning curve of being able to learn from so many amazing people, like, the best of the best in the
Mhm,
industry,
mhm.
and that was me, like, my very first show, back in 2019, I filmed Santa's Baking Blizzard with Kylie,
Mhm.
and, we got onto this show. We were still beginners. We hadn't really ventured outside of Utah and gotten to really know people. People didn't know me online, like none of that. And so I was like this little baby beginner. And and I got onto Santa's Baking Blizzard, and there were some truly like phenomenal people who I highly admired who were there.
Yeah.
And they were all so nice and welcoming, and everyone's like chatty with each other and giving each other tips and tricks, which helps because Kylie's like a cheerleader and she was so nice to everyone that
Yeah.
when we went to go film, they're like, "Hey, like we already just filmed and here's a little tip for you. Like turn on the sugar warming box because it's too cold in this room." Like stuff like that.
Mhm.
So, anyways, like everyone's all helping each other, and the amount of synergy that you get from doing these shows is just phenomenal. But
Mhm.
anyways, like I just remember being so intimidated as well. And I think by the time I did my third Food Network show, I was starting to grow a little bit online, and I did my second and third back to back.
Mhm.
And I think I filmed Holiday Wars in 2020, and then it aired at the end of 2020, and then very beginning of 2021, I got onto the Big Bake, and I was chatting with other people who were stuck in this hotel room with me, and like through Messenger. But anyways, this one kid was like. He's like, I'm so glad I'm not competing against you. Like, oh, I'm so scared. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm the spooky person, like the person that everyone's intimidated by, or at least this person. Like it just seeing that
Mhm.
transition into now people are scared to compete against me. That was awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyways, yes.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
So okay, go back.
no,
We
there definitely was that factor for sure. But I feel like just my reasoning for being on the show, like obviously I want to win, of course, that's why you're there too.
Mhm.
But I don't know, it was just comforting to have you guys there, and I knew how talented you are. But luckily, you weren't on my first episode, so I wasn't as was worried. So that was
Yeah.
helpful. But yeah.
Well, it's intimidating, like even seeing you there because it's just like
Mm,
I have done holiday work. This is my third time on Halloween work. This is my fourth time doing a war show.
mhm,
And you nailed it the
mhm.
first try, and, that's intimidating for me going in and being like, "But you won on your first attempt."
Well, I have to give
So
a
it is
lot of credit to my teammates though. Like it really depends what team you
okay.
guys, you've been on so many
Yes.
shows. Like it's so dependent
Yes.
on who you're with. You've never met these people, you don't know how they work, especially Halloween wars when you're thrown in with a pumpkin person. It's totally different. That's never done any baking or anything. It's a totally different experience every time you do it. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so going into Halloween Wars,
Mhm.
let's talk about what happened.
Ah, Um, well, let's see. I had amazing teammates. I really, really did. They were great. Willie and Kat. So Willie was our pumpkin carver. And I don't know if you guys know him yet, but if you don't, you should follow him. He
Mhm.
is incredible. He also does ice sculpting as well. And anyway, his stuff is over the top. He's been on lots of other he has the Pumpkin Outrageous show, Outrageous Pumpkins. That's what it's called.
Yes.
Yeah, and I think he took like second place on that. Like he's just super talented, amazing. So I was glad to have him. And then Kat is adorable. She's such a sweetheart. This was her very first show. Very, very talented. But although she had never done any structuring or anything like that, so we knew we had a big step to go. And we knew going into Halloween Wars that there were a lot of people that had been on the show before, just like you. And so we knew that they knew how to play the game and to do it. And so we were kind of those underdogs coming in, and we just went in and did our very best and worked as hard as we
I
could.
wouldn't say you're underdogs at all.
Oh.
Every team has a beginner and experienced people, but you had 2
Mhm.
very experienced people, yourself and
Yeah.
Willie, and you still had an amazing cake artist, just
Yeah.
her first
Yeah.
time on a show.
Right, right. Yeah. And but I feel like her work is very beautiful. We just ran out of time and we were gonna have three characters. Of course we all run out of time, right? But yeah, we had three
Yes.
characters. We had to cut one of our characters at the end, and then just how our structuring was. Our ghost was facing the wrong way, and we had some special effects like, the dry ice, the steam coming up through the window. The fan wouldn't work; it wouldn't blow in. The lights we had in our
Oh,
pumpkins stopped working. Like just all the things. I was just like, okay, like we had all these really cool, fun things that just didn't really play out at the end. But that's part of a competition, right? It's almost like a game show. You just do your best and you just, that's all you can do. So yeah. But I mean, it was good. We still
and
put out some good
hopefully,
stuff.
yes.
Anyway, as you know, we came to it. We didn't end up winning that episode and we didn't end up staying on the show after that. We actually got cut. So I was really sad. It was really hard and
Yeah.
sad, but at the same time, it was a learning curve for all of us. And we all know that that's a possibility no matter what happens. So it was good. It was still a great experience. And then you want me to lead into the next thing? Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes, I do wanna circle back to the
Okay.
difference between holiday and Halloween wars, but let's talk about
Yeah.
what happened
Yeah,
next after
there's
you got eliminated.
so different. And let's just say like I mentioned before, pumpkin and is very different. Like on Holiday Wars, like we're talking about, you have a cake artist, a sugar artist, and then in the past we had a baker or a cookie artist, depending which seasons you've been watching. But everyone is in like the baking field. We all can help each other. Where a pumpkin guy is great. I mean, he was so talented, but he had never really worked with fondant. He did help with structure and those kinds of things. But it was a different dynamic of a show than Holiday Wars for sure. Also, sugar and pumpkin do not go together, as you know,
No, they
at
don't.
all.
People don't even realize that.
Yeah, so here I am, like I got we did like an alphabet, well, what did we do? Like an alphabet up on the wall because we had an elementary school like monster vibe thing going on. And so I had like the letters up there to represent elementary. And then he had a pumpkin at the top as like a really cool topping to the wall, like a crown molding. But it just was dripping and then it dripped into my sugar and then my sugar was dripping all over the wall. And
No.
like these things that you don't think about, I didn't even know that that would be a problem. Or trying to attach sugar to pumpkin, that doesn't really work either because it's wet, right? So, and like, sugar is like, it's like a lollipop and you get it wet, it's just going to slide off or melt. So yeah, so it was tricky. It
Yeah,
was very
people don't
different.
realize that.
Yeah, yeah. It was very, very different.
Yeah.
So anyway,
So pumpkin
yeah.
people, like you said, you go into Holiday Wars, everyone's in the same kind of industry, so you know how all this stuff blends together
Mhm.
and maybe have some slightly different skill set, whether it's isomalt, baking, and or cake work, cookies, whatever. But again, depends on the season because my season was different. I was the sugar artist and pastry chef, and then I had three cake artists on my
Oh
team. So that's how
wow.
it was set up back in 2020.
Wow.
Yours
Very
sounds
different.
funner. Very different, but when it comes to pumpkin, so pumpkin is really, really wet, and
Mhm.
sugar cannot get wet, otherwise it literally starts melting and turning into goo. So a lot of people go into this not even realizing that's going to be an issue. I didn't even really notice how much of an issue that was, like, when I got eliminated in my first episode in season 13,
Mhm.
and then going into season 14, our first episode, like, we had, like, fondant and everything just melting off of our
Oh.
character on our
Yeah.
going into that, and I was like, "Oh, shoot, I did not have enough experience last season on that one episode." Like, I didn't even realize that was an issue so much.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, like, we had to make a lot of adjustments. You have to coat the pumpkin in maybe chocolate so that you can then wrap it in fondant so the fondant doesn't start melting and turning it into goo on you. And
Mhm.
like isomalt, like I said, it like melts. And so like isomalt, like you can't just stick it on a pumpkin. Sometimes I would take like a wire and wrap isomalt around it and stick the wire into the pumpkin.
That
Like
makes
you're
sense.
trying to find all these workarounds to
Mhm.
that.
Right.
And, I don't know if you wanna talk about, like, the baking aspect too. When you did Holiday
Mhm.
Wars, like, you didn't have to bake,
Mm-mm.
and then going into Halloween Wars, you are expected to bake.
Yes, yes.
So, I know that was kind of hard for you to make that adjustment as well,
Right.
especially with what the challenge was.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, so gosh, there's like a couple things we can talk about there. But yeah, so Holiday Wars, we had an official baker. So he was in charge of making our tasting element for the judges so they could taste exactly what he was making. And that was his thing, right? And then I did the sugar and we have the cake, our cake artist, and then we all work together as well to like get all the backboard on and do all the things. But yeah, so going into Holiday Wars, the show, it had been a few years and they changed the show. And I don't know if Halloween was that way before, but anyway, so they had changed it. And so usually The sugar person, I guess, generally is also the person who makes the tasting. Now,
Highly expected to be,
yes,
yeah.
kind of expected, although it can be anyone from the team. I know some of the other, teams would switch and help each other out as needed or whatever. If they're an expert in whatever flavor they got, they might swap or help each other. So anyway, so that pressure fell on me, and I'm like, I'm a home baker. I never went to pastry school. Baking for these judges that are expecting something so incredible. And I was like, you know what? Just like go back to my roots, go back to me, just be myself. And like, what do I have? Anyway, for our tastings though, like I'm trying to remember what everyone had. We had like someone in our episode had string cheese and then chocolate milk. And I'm trying to remember what the other one was. I can't remember what the other person's was. And we ended up,
I don't remember.
yeah, we ended up getting granola bar, which I thought was odd because it wasn't like a single ingredient. Like everyone else got one single ingredient. And I'm like, well, a granola bar is going to be really tricky to make it taste like a granola bar because they have to know that it tastes like a granola bar that's in there, but also not be a granola bar, So I had thought, oh, I'll try doing these cookie like these they're like kind of like a fudge. I don't know how you describe them, like a cookie bar basically. And I'm going to modify it and kind of make it more like a granola bar. So we're going to add some dried cherries to it, and it had, add the oatmeal into it and the chocolate and that kind of thing. So it still was a cookie bar, but also had kind of an element of the granola bar. So I felt like I kind of was in this weird lose-lose situation because if it tasted too much like I didn't want it to make a granola bar because that's not unique, but I also didn't want to make it not taste like a granola bar. And so I feel like the judges really, we had a lot of miscommunication with that at the end. And so it was really difficult because they're like, it tastes like a glorified granola bar. And I'm like, that's exactly what
But
I was
I
shooting for.
got yeah,
Yeah.
and that's hard. It's
Mhm.
like, uh yeah, as a cake like, you're more of a cake artist,
Mhm.
right? And you
Mhm.
probably don't know a lot of pastry work. Like you said,
Right.
you didn't go to pastry school.
Right.
And so, like, this was me going into these shows too, is I was more of a cake baker,
Mhm.
not a pastry chef, and
Mhm.
then you kinda get shoehorned into it because you get casted as a sugar artist, and you're just expected to also be the baker.
Right. Right.
Uh, so that's really hard going into it, and and then on top of that, you get an elementary school or like a school themed episode, and they give you elementary school snacks, and then they think it's too elementary.
Yeah, yeah. I was a little frustrated, I will admit that for
Yeah.
sure. I was very, and that's exactly what we were supposed to make. And so I don't know if there was a disconnect of like between the judges and what, we were told we were supposed to make or whatever. But I thought I did a good job. I was proud of myself, but they weren't,
Yeah.
that's just how it goes sometimes. But yeah.
That is
But
definitely true. That's just how it
yes.
goes
But
sometimes.
yes, but I was gonna say, like, balancing all of that, so doing the sugar work, right, and the tasting,
Mhm.
and, it was Kat's first show, so we wanted to make sure we were really supporting her, so I did, pretty much all the backboard work, the flooring, all that kinda stuff too, and so
Jeez.
I really felt stretched very thin, but we all did our best, we all grew and we all learned, and we still had a good experience, and it was great, and I would totally do it again. It was awesome. Yeah.
Oh, that is
Mhm.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some people definitely are like, never again. Some people are one and done. They do one show and they realize it's not
Mhm.
for them and
Yep.
they walk away. So you still coming out of this saying, I that's still worth it. That's still
Mhm.
fun. I'll still do it. Like says a lot about your character and
Mhm.
you still see it as a learning opportunity. So that's always
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, it's good.
Uh yeah, I would say like it is hard because going into this, like I've done 6 shows now. And the first show I did do some of the baking on Santa's Baking Blizzard, and I baked the cake, and then my other teammates, Kylie and Amy, who are also on my team and our friends, they helped with some of the recipes as well. I think Kylie made a soak for the cake, and I might have made the buttercream, and I think Amy made the curd or something. I don't remember.
Mhm, mhm.
It's been a couple years. But anyways, like we did share some of the workload, but I did make the cake, which again, I'm more of a cake baker.
Right.
But then going into Holiday Wars, I got casted. I applied as a cake artist, and that's where my skill set is. And then they found out they were doing the phone interview with me, and they're like, hey, tell us more about like your cake skills and what you like to work with, this and that. And so I start listing all of the things that I like to, all the
Mhm.
mediums. I'm like, well, I'm a jack of all trades. I like to work with this. I start listing off like fondant, modeling chocolate, blah, 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 isomalt. And they perked up
Yeah.
and they're like, isomalt?
Yeah.
You know how to work with isomalt? And I was like, yeah. And they're
Mhm.
like, so more than like casting, like pouring it into molds? I'm like, yeah, if I say I can work with isomalt, of course I can do more than molds, but okay.
Yeah.
I just thought it was kind of silly. But they were like, well, will you apply as a sugar artist? And I was like, well, I wasn't planning on it, but
Yeah.
yeah, sure, I guess I'll apply as a sugar artist. So they're like, send us 10 pictures of cakes, but send us as many pictures as you can for isomalt
Mhm.
because it is such a hard role for them to fill, to
Mhm.
find isomalt experts.
Yeah.
It's a rarer skill to have, and
Yeah.
they have too many cake artists. So they call me later, I do the video chat, whatever. I end up getting casted. They call me, they're like, congratulations, you've got casted. And I'm like, for what role?
Mhm.
And they're like, oh, sugar artist, don't you know? But anyways, like I got casted as a sugar artist like 3 days before I fly out to go film this. I'm getting to know my
Gosh.
teammates and we're learning the rules of the show, all of that. And they're like, so Emerly, when it comes to the tasting element, this is what you need to know. And I was like, I'm sorry. I was like,
Mm.
why are you directing this directly at me? I'm like, am I doing the tasting element? And they're
Ah.
like, well, yeah, typically the sugar artist is also the baker. And I'm like, no one asked me if I could bake. And so like I did not expect that.
Mhm.
And I was like, I have over 60 food allergies. I was not planning on being like a
Yeah.
not just a cake baker,
Right.
a pastry chef.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And I was yeah, and so I was like, I don't know if that I don't know about this.
Mhm.
And they're like, well, it doesn't have to be you. It can be other people on your team, but typically you're the pastry chef. And so I asked my teammates, and I think all three of them said they use box mix.
Oh,
And I was like,
no.
oh no.
Oh,
Which
no.
is like, it's fine, but it's like, okay, so you don't even bake regular cakes from scratch, but this is like pastry work. Like this is even more elaborate.
Yeah.
And I was like that's okay. And I'm like,
Mhm.
okay, so I have more experience, but I was so
Mhm.
intimidated. And I'm sure you
Mhm.
were like that going into
Uh-huh.
Halloween Wars, where it's like
Yes.
you you're not typically a baker, but it's kind of forced on you.
Mhm.
And so I had to just figure it out, baptism by fire. I had to wing it. And I found out I was actually pretty good at it.
Mhm.
I did go to a cake design college, and I learned a little bit of pastry work,
That's awesome.
like a little bit. And we're talking like every team had like multiple pastry chefs. Every single team had at least two on that season, I believe. As far as I know, like every team had at least two pastry chefs
Mhm.
who had been to school for years, who are doing it as their full time jobs, and they're so good at it. And on my team, I was the only one.
Mhm.
I went to a 4 month cake school. Half of it was decorating, half of it was baking. And when it came to the baking work, it was mostly cake baking that I learned, and we did like the tiniest little bit of pastry work. So I had to
Mhm.
pull that out of my you know
Wow.
what and just figure it out. And I actually did really well, better than I expected.
That's so good.
But ever since then, like I've always been the pastry chef and the sugar artist of my
Mhm.
team
Mhm.
because they will not cast me as a cake artist anymore. Like
Mhm.
it's so hard to find sugar
Yeah.
artists.
Yeah.
And so you kind of get forced into that role. Once they know you can work with isomalt, it's like, well, you're not ever going to get
Yeah.
casted as a cake artist. So
Absolutely.
I've continued to also be forced into the baking aspect of it.
Yes.
So, anyways,
Yes. But
but that's hard. Like,
you've also had to pick up the slack
mhm.
for your teammates a lot of times, right? And like have to do both. Like you're doing cake and sugar and the tasting, right? Like it's a lot. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, it's a lot. So, like going into Holiday Wars, like I said, there's 3 cake artists on my team, and I was like, well, I know cakes too. That's
Mhm.
my best skill set.
Right.
Then I would consider maybe ice malt work, then baking.
Mhm.
And so, yeah, like the first episode, I finished my work early. I was like, hey, what can I do to help you guys? And I stepped in and helped. And then they started expecting that moving forward, and that
Mhm.
did cause some issues where they're like, hey, like come and help us with the cake stuff. And I'm like, I'm juggling isomalt, I'm juggling
Mhm.
baking, like all this
Yeah.
stuff. I'm like, I don't have time. And they in a way, I feel like they were upset about that. There's times where it was like there's some tension where it's like, well, why can't you help
Mhm.
us? And it's like, because I've got multiple jobs over here.
Yeah.
So every competition I go into now, I always, always, always talk to my cake artists on these shows and I say, "Hey, listen, I am pretty fast at what I do. I'm very good at cake work and I will step in and help as much as I can, but do not expect it because there
Mhm.
are some episodes where I do not have time to step in
Yeah,
and help.
absolutely.
My work is yeah, like as you know, sugar work is way more fragile. Baking is hard. And when you're trying to juggle all of these temperatures, like you're constantly heating up things and cooling it down and heating it up and cooling it down like you're baking,
Mhm.
but then you're cooling that down that you
Mhm.
can then heat up your chocolate and drizzle that over your cake when everything is at the right temperature. Your ganache gets heated up and then that has to set and then you have to whip it at the right time and your cream cheese has to be the right temperature and you have to whip that together at the right temperature and at the same time you're heating up your ice melt to like 300 degrees and you're trying to cool that down but then like heat it back up like all of this like
This is like,
I have tripped breakers.
oh my gosh, I think it's a little
Huh?
PTSD going on there. It's a lot,
There is some
man.
P I know, my eyes are glazing over because of the
It's a lot.
PTSD,
It's a
but,
lot.
like, you're juggling all of these
Mhm.
temperatures, like, people don't realize, like, sugar work is so hard, and the baking on top of it, you're constantly juggling
Mhm.
temperatures.
Right.
Oh, and you're doing a million things, and then I also make time to step in and do cake work,
Mhm.
and I've stepped in and I've done pumpkin work, so, like, I've had to, like, help all of these things. Sometimes because my sugar work and my baking, it's like, well, this is cooling down, this is cooling down, this is heating up, this blah blah blah. So I'm in a standstill. What can I do to
Yeah.
help you over
Yeah.
here? Anyways,
Oh, it's crazy. It's crazy. Well, I will
it is
say it's like an
crazy.
adrenaline
Yeah,
rush though. Like I feel like
it
it's
is.
like having a baby. Like you go do a show and it's terrifying, you're scared to death and it all ends up working out, right? And then it was so stressful. You're like, I'm never doing that again, right? I'm gonna try to like sleep for the next 2 months straight because it was so hard, all
Yes.
that. And then, it kind of is a while and it starts being like, oh, that sounds kind of fun again. I want to do that. Like, all right, yeah.
Right.
That's how it feels for me. I'm like, I need a little break, but then you're like, hey, I want to go. It's just fun. So yeah,
It's addicting.
yeah.
Where else can you go do these massive builds under time constraints and all the material at your hands and the synergy that you're, building off of other amazing cake
Hmm.
artists and sugar artists and pumpkin artists. Like that's amazing.
Yeah.
Um okay, so yeah, that's fun. It is hard. That's one of the experiences. I've had multiple other experiences
Hmm.
where, yeah, trying to juggle not just my work, but also like a lot
Hmm.
of cake work. And
Hmm.
it's hard.
Yeah. Yeah.
And trying to make work and sorry, going back to sugar work, your sugar work has to go on last. I don't know
Hmm.
if you have that
Hmm.
where
Yep.
it's like you don't even put it on the board until the last minute
Hmm.
because it's so fragile, and I've had multiple times where teammates have broken my sugar work
Hmm.
even before it gets on the table.
Right.
They'll set something down on top of my
Hmm.
all this work I've spent like an hour or more on, and they're like, "Oops."
Sorry. Start
And so
over.
yeah,
You're like, I got
yeah.
10 minutes.
And so
I can't do that.
yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
it's so hard. And so your sugar work has to go on last. So it's
Hmm.
also like, well, I gotta help you, but also
Yeah.
like I'm still doing this and it has to go on last. So if it breaks, there's no fixing it.
Hmm. Hmm.
So
Absolutely. Absolutely. We're on the
that's
same
so fun.
page. You and I, we know.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So sugar work is fun, but I definitely wish I did more cake competitions and
Hmm.
I'm kind of tired of ice malt at this point.
Yeah.
Um but anyways, okay. So you're on Halloween Wars. We keep trying to transition then we're
I
like,
know, but wait, we forgot to
pumpkin.
talk about all the fun stuff. I know. We got to get it in there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I know.
But we can always circle back to
Yeah.
more, but let's
Yeah.
talk about you ended up on Holiday Wars this last season, but you actually did Halloween Wars first, so that's a little bit confusing.
Yes, yes.
So, why don't you talk about what happened?
Okay, so well, they actually, they're both war shows, so they're filming them at the same time, right? It helps with cutting costs for videographers and the building and all that stuff. So they're filming both at the same time. You don't really overlap, like you see them here and there, the other contestants in the other show, but it's just totally separate shows. You're not really in that other world. Anyway, so Halloween gets over and I'm, bummed, feeling a little down, it's fine, whatever it is, what it is. Anyway, and so I turn off my phone. I'm like, everything's off. I'm sleeping. It's been so stressful.
You
Even
turned off your
oh,
phone?
everything, airplane mode. I'm not
Oh,
like
no.
nothing. Yeah. So I was like, just turn it all off. I'm sleeping in. I was supposed to stay and do interviews, but I knew they couldn't do it for a couple, for another day or two or so. So I was like, all right, I'm just gonna rest. And anyway, so I turned off my phone. So in the morning, I thought I heard my hotel phone ringing. And then I didn't get to it in time. And I was like, what is that? And it was like, I don't know, 7 in the morning or something. And I'm like, hey, I'm sleeping in, guys. I have kids at home. Like, I never get to sleep in. This is my thing. I'm sleeping in. Anyway, so then I get a knock on my door a couple minutes later, and I'm like, okay, what is this? And so I go get the door, and it was one of the I don't know what you call them. It wasn't a producer, was it?
Producers or Wrangler or
Yes, one
somebody.
of the
I
wranglers.
don't know
Yes,
who
they help kind
they
of
are.
wrangle in all the people and keep them, in the hotel and help them with whatever they need. And so he comes knocking on my door and he's like, "Hey," he's like, "they need someone on holiday wars. Someone got sick and they're not feeling well and they had to go to the hospital, so we need to have someone else step in. Can you come in? We need another sugar artist." And they're like, and I'm like, like holiday wars, like, okay, are you sure? Like holiday wars? And I'm like, here I am, like my outfit's all black and I got like spiders in my hair and all this stuff, right? Like that's like, I didn't have an outfit. I didn't know what to wear. I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know what they're doing. I had no idea anything. And they're like, can you be ready in like, I don't know, 20 minutes? And I was like, no, like you want me to be on TV in
No
like 20 minutes? I
way.
was like, can you give me, like, I need at least like, I don't know, 45 minutes. Like I need a shower. I need to do my hair. I need to put on makeup. I need to probably eat something. Cause if you're going to go film, you don't eat all day long,
Yes.
so just all those things. So I was like,
You can, but no one does.
I know.
You
Yes.
can eat while you film these competitions. I
Yes.
don't recommend it,
Yes.
but go
We
on.
choose not to because why would you? You're in this competition. You want to win, right? Um
Yeah, you hydrate enough to not pass out, but not enough to, like,
mhm.
piss yourself while you're competing because you don't
Exactly.
wanna run to the bathroom.
Exactly.
You're mic'd. No one wants to hear you pee. Anyways.
So anyway, so I agreed that yeah, I can come. And so they're like, okay, well, one of the teammates has an extra shirt that you can wear. It was way too big for me. It's fine. But yeah, there
Mhm.
was a shirt I could wear, and I just had some jeans on hand, and I guess we were just wearing jeans, and so it was just jeans and like a denim shirt was what our team was supposed to wear, and so that ended up working out. But yeah, so I just got drove over to the set as soon as possible. And I literally walked in as they're filming the show. Like they're already filming and I'm jumping in. And I have like, what are we doing? Like they already had started like an hour and a half before. I had no idea what I was even gonna like make. I didn't know like what colors I would be making for isomalt, what I'd be heating up. I didn't know if I had all the right ingredients on hand, like all the things that all these other teams had already had the advantage, right? Because they've already were able to start and
Mhm.
get going. And so it was really terrifying. I didn't even know my teammates' names, and we're coming in there and they're just welcoming me and they were
You don't know the design they picked, and well, I guess, like, everyone's winging it
uh-huh.
anyways. Like, we're all surprised and jumping right in, but
Yes,
that's still
yes.
that's
But it
hard.
would have been nice, to be there for like, okay, this is what we're gonna do. Cause like as far as isomalt goes, I'm like, well, what can I contribute? And like here they are like, well, we need you to make this, we need you to make this. And I'm like, I don't know how to make that. I've never done that. I gotta think through it. Like I had no way to like process, I was like, I just like right on the spot. And so it was really hard. And my poor teammates, like they were amazing. I'm so, so sweet. And they were really grateful that I was there, which was so nice because you never know who you're stepping in for. But I was like, hey, I got this. Like, I've done holiday wars before. Like, I can do this. I can at least help my team, hopefully make it to the next episode and pull through. But little did I know that the person I was filling in for was an amazing pastry chef and such a perfectionist at isomalt. I literally stepped
Oh,
in for the
no.
one person that I was like, I cannot do that. I cannot be him. He's so talented. And so that was a little intimidating as well. Cause I was like, hey, am I helping my team? I don't want to be that one person that pulls them down. Um, but yeah, so that was just a really, really stressful episode. And my poor teammate, she like broke down in the middle of it. And because they're stressing too, they're thinking, we're going home. We don't even have someone to help us. And so like we were already just so far behind. And it was just such a hard episode. So, so hard. But we ended up making it to the next episode, which was incredible and super fun. And so that was awesome. But then I didn't know, like, okay, is this guy coming back? Is he going to be feeling better? Like, am I going to be here for the next one? Like, what's happening? And so that was really stressful too, because I'm like, well, I don't know. I'm just on standby. I'm here, like, just helping
Mhm.
out. So we ended up doing another episode, and we actually ended up winning the next episode, which was awesome.
Did you
We
really?
did, it was so good. It was the cookie
Oh my
challenge, and our
gosh.
cookie artist was incredible, but that was fun, but I felt more confident because
Yeah.
I was like, "Now I know what I can give our team," and so I could use my ideas and what I wanted to do, and it was super helpful. Um,
Mhm.
and so then we moved on and went to the next episode, and the next one ended up being, gosh, what was it? It was, let's see, like different holiday characters or different from different holidays, not necessarily Christmas. So we had like a leprechaun and people had different, characters from different holidays from around the year. So we had a leprechaun and he was filling in for Santa Claus. And so he's supposed to deliver the packages. And so I ended up making this ginormous like sugar rainbow, like huge, like it came all the way down the board and
Oh, yeah.
like off the board. And it was just super cool. And so that was really fun. And so we ended up staying in again. So then we ended up making it to the semifinals. And and then from there, we actually didn't make it past that one. But I ended up being able to be on 4 episodes, and it was incredible because I kept thinking, okay, well, they just need me for one, just need me, okay, just for two, just for three. But I didn't know if I was ever going home or not. And I still had never finished my Halloween Wars like interviews, so I had to then go back
Oh, no.
after Holiday Wars had finished. Then I had to go back and revisit Halloween Wars, change my outfit, do all the things and go back to to Halloween. And I couldn't even hardly remember what had happened or what we were doing. So it was crazy. It was crazy, but like such a fun experience.
That
And
is
I
crazy.
know, but
Yeah.
a huge adrenaline rush too. It was great. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was fun because, like, I was still filming Halloween Wars, you
Hmm.
start filming Holiday Wars, we're on the same set, we're
Yeah. Yeah.
like you said, it's pretty separate worlds, but at the same time, you're still bumping into each other, we're
Hmm.
still checking in with each other at night,
Hmm.
and you showed me that rainbow,
Uh-huh.
that you made. I don't even know where I would begin to make that rainbow. That is one of the most impressive pieces. I'm like, "You did this?" Like, I'm not I'm surprised, but I'm not surprised. That sounds bad. But, like, I'm like, I don't even know. I've been on so many episodes and I've done sugar work so much. I'm like, "How did you do that?"
Oh,
I don't even
yeah, yeah.
that is one of the most impressive pieces I've seen from
Oh, well,
anybody.
thank
It
you.
was so
Thank
big and
you.
it's so much sugar work, and I don't even know if there was structure underneath, but I was like, "Oh my
Yeah,
gosh."
yeah. It was intense and it took like
Yeah,
the whole entire day. And we had to do tasting,
I
like all
bet.
the things, right? So it's a lot. It's a lot. It's super fun. Yeah.
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 It also helps, like, I think what people don't realize, because sometimes, like, I read all the Reddit, YouTube comments all over the internet, okay? I see what everybody posts about these shows. I check,
Hmm.
like, every week. I'm like, "Hey, what are people saying this
Yeah,
time?"
yeah.
And sometimes, like, people will judge you. They're like, like, they did it this way, and why didn't they do it this way?" And sometimes, like, you're limited by the tools and resources that you have at hand
Hmm.
for your ice malt work.
Yeah.
And so it's like, you have to have these like high quality silicone molds and strips and tools that work with ice malt
Hmm.
specifically.
Uh-huh.
And sometimes, like, you're like, "Oh, this would be even better," but I'm limited by what resources I have on set.
Absolutely.
And I don't think people realize that. So it's like, it's not just impressive that you made this rainbow, it's impressive that you made the rainbow with what you had at your disposal,
Hmm.
which I don't even know how you did the
Well,
rainbow. If you
yeah.
use silicone strips to I need to watch the episodes. I'm so sorry.
No, you're
I
good.
have PTSD. I have yeah. I have PTSD, don't take it personally. Holiday Wars was not my favorite experience. I ate ice cream every single day for a full week after I got home. I got, like, full-size containers. I kept
Oh,
going back. I gained weight for
that's
sure.
so hard.
But it was a hard
Mhm.
experience emotionally, a lot of stuff that I can't say,
Yes,
but
yeah.
a lot of things that happen behind the scenes, on screen, like, it just wasn't my favorite
Right.
experience, and so I just, like, and I don't like watching rea
Mhm.
I don't like watching reality TV shows in general, but I especially don't wanna watch Holiday
Oh,
Wars,
that's okay.
like,
That's
any
okay. I
season.
get it. It's fine. It's fine.
So don't take it personally, like, but I saw and I'm still, I was still cheering you on, I was still seeing this stuff, and I'm like,
Right.
"That's amazing."
Yeah.
I'm sure I can go back and watch it someday, maybe I will be less traumatized and I can just enjoy it for
I
what it
know, I
is.
know. Maybe we just need to get together, all of us friends, and just watch all of our episodes and have a party and eat ice
That'd
cream. We
be
can eat
fun.
ice cream and be like, "See, we're just getting ahead of the
Yes.
PTSD here." So,
Yes, exactly.
yeah, yeah.
But I would, yeah, I would do it again. I have potentially almost gotten back onto Holiday Wars multiple
Mhm.
times, and I cried about it
Oh, this is so
because like
bad.
a couple so
Yeah.
bad. So like a couple years ago, they called me and they're like, "Hey, like we really we would you like to be an alternate?" They asked me, and I was like, "Honestly,
Mm,
no." And I
mhm.
like went on to this whole rant for like 30 minutes, and I was like, "Because this, and I was like, "But I don't know, maybe." No, because this, and I just this
Oh.
guy was so patient with me. He's like, "Okay, I understand,
Mhm,
okay." But I was
mhm.
like, "But maybe, but no, but maybe." Anyways, I finally at the end was like, "Let me call you back." And I thought about it. I talked to I think my husband and my sister, and they're like, "No, you have to do this." And I was like, "Okay." So I called them back. I'm like, "Fine, I will be an alternate for both shows."
Mm,
And it was because I had just been eliminated on season 13 of Halloween Wars, and I did not
yeah.
like my experience on Holiday Wars. And anyways, so they asked me to be an alternate for both shows. And I was like, "But I really wanna get back on Halloween Wars, but I don't wanna do
Uh-huh,
Holiday
uh-huh.
Wars." So, I ended up saying yes, and I only had a couple days where it's, like, a small window of being an alternate, and I only had a couple days where, like, maybe they'll call me, maybe they won't, and I went and got my nails done from my sister-in-law, and I was like, "Well, let's do this color because it will work for both
Right,
shows." I think it was, like, gold or
right.
something. I was like, "This is what I'm gonna do." And I started bawling my eyes out,
Yeah.
like, in her nail chair, like, getting my nails done, and I told her, I was like, "Yeah, I just I potentially am casted on both shows, but I really don't wanna get on Holiday Wars." And I actually started
No.
crying, like, so bad. I'm like, "Okay, this clearly is still affecting me."
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
And my at the end of my appointment, I'm still
Oh,
crying. My mother-in-law like, I started crying at the end. My mother-in-law
yeah,
walks in for her nail
yeah.
appointment, didn't know she was going to be there, and she's like, "What is ha are you okay? Like, what's happening?" And I'm like, "It's nothing. I gotta go. Thank you so much." I
Oh.
didn't tell her. I just, like,
Mhm.
walked out.
Oh my gosh.
But, I got casted on Halloween,
So
so
you
it's
were
fine.
fine, you're good.
But I'm fine. I survived.
Yes.
Yeah,
So funny.
it's still affecting me,
Well, I
clearly.
know. I was just gonna mention, like, I remember because I was doing the Holiday Wars, but we had to like redo an intro, like filming or something for Halloween. So I remember one day I literally was like in Christmas outfit and then switched to Halloween, switched the hair, switched to spiders, and then switched back to Christmas. I was like, this is so weird. Like, how bizarre to like go from one holiday to the next holiday. It was just awesome. It was fun. And then just, yeah, like you said, like bumping into each other, you like,
Yeah.
run into like Halloween people. And I was like, I used to be a Halloween person. And now I'm like, look at those Christmas people. And then all of a sudden I was a Christmas person bumping into Halloween people. And I was like, oh, I don't know where I
Yeah.
belong. It was crazy. It was fun. So
The vibe is completely
uh-huh.
different,
Very, very different.
but you're same
Yeah.
judges.
Yep. Yep. A lot of the same
So
judges.
you're like, "Hey."
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was really funny. So it was, I think, Shinmin. She was, judging both. I don't think Artie was in both this time. She was just in Halloween.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Yes.
Okay.
They had, is it Cartier Brown? Is that her name? I can't remember her name. Anyway,
No.
she was in the Holiday one. So anyway, it was different than when I had done Holiday Wars before. But yeah, so I like saw Shinmin one day eliminated, and then I show up in Holiday Wars the next day, and like here I am again, like another contestant. Like it was so bizarre. So really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My husband calls Shinmin Lee Cinnamon Lee because he can never remember what it
Oh no.
is, and so he's like, "Oh, yeah, Cinnamon Lee." And when I got back, I think on season 14, which I'd already, like, done Holiday and, 1 season of Halloween Wars before that, so, like, she knows me at this
Yeah.
point. But, we were standing around, like, trying to film the intros or something, and, the judges come out and, like, this is our first time seeing the judges. It's the first time the judges are seeing everybody.
Mhm.
They're looking around the room and they're like, "Oh, I recognize you. I
Oh
recognize you." Like,
yeah.
they're saying hi to
Yeah.
everybody. And anyways, she sees me. She's like, "Oh, hey, you're back." And I'm like, "Yeah." And at some point I'm like, "My husband calls you Cinnamon Lee." And she's like, "That's my stripper name."
Is that what she said? She's funny.
Yeah, she said it's
She's
her stripper
funny.
name.
She
Yeah.
just grows on
So
you.
that's her nickname around here.
Yeah.
She does,
Oh,
yeah.
that's so fun. I know. And the judges are so great. They really are. They're so like, yeah, you guys got this. They're positive and they're really awesome. And Yeah, it's cool. It's a fun
Yeah.
environment. Yeah, stressful, but fun.
It is. It really is.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's part of me who's like, I think I'm done. I think I'm to the point where I'd rather pick my teammates.
Yeah, that would be nice.
And it would
Uh-huh.
be nice. I've done some shows where you pick your
Yeah.
teammates and it's really important for me to have people who are positive,
Mhm.
who are easy to work with, who uh are I don't like
Yeah.
negative people. And sometimes you get that, sometimes you don't, or people who just struggle with it. And I just think at this point, like I either need to do solo shows or I need to pick teammates who I've worked with before or I've seen under pressure
Yeah.
before, or I just know who won't snap at me,
Mhm.
or get mad
Mhm.
and can just be
Yeah.
positive through the whole experience. Because I've had a combination of, a lot of positive and negative
Mhm.
experiences.
Mhm.
And but then there's a part of me that's like, maybe I would go back. It's been a while. I'm like,
Oh.
maybe the PTSD is wearing off and the
Yes.
experience is wearing off. I'm like, that was fun. I should go
Uh-huh.
back.
I know. I know. I
But who
know. I
knows?
know, right? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't know if you've seen, there's a lot of people online who are like, "Ugh, all of these repeat faces coming back. Why can't they get new
Mhm.
faces?"
Mhm.
And it's like, with your experience, like there was a medical emergency. Like you stepped in because someone had a medical emergency.
Mhm.
Last year, I stepped in for season 14 because the sugar artist, her husband went into the hospital. So they needed someone to step
Mhm.
in last
Mhm.
minute. And then I got the call again for this year, and it was they had a pastry chef who was amazing, and he just seemed like he wasn't fully into it as they were getting to know each other and booking their plane tickets and and learning about everything. Like he just like always seemed disengaged, and then literally like I think 2 days
Mhm.
before he was starting to back out.
Mhm.
And so they called me and they're like, "We potentially like need a sugar artist. Are you willing to step in?" And I was like, "Yeah, I guess." Like it's only an hour
Mhm.
from where I
Mhm.
live where they film these. And I was like, it's so last minute, but maybe. So anyways, they called me the next day and they're like, "Okay, this guy just dropped out. He just, chose which is unfortunate
Mhm.
for the teammates who have a disadvantage now because now they don't know who's coming
Mhm.
in." And so they call me in. I'm like, yeah, okay. So I pack up my stuff, and I think I got the call on Sunday, and I had to drive up to Park City like Monday. So I had like a 24-hour
Mhm.
notice, pack up my stuff, figure out my outfit, and I just had to take off and jump in and meet my teammates like that
Mhm.
day. So that was
Yeah.
rough. But it's like that's why repeat faces happen because people keep
Right.
dropping out like flies all the
Right.
time. I once years ago didn't get onto a season of Halloween Wars. I got casted, but then stuff happened. I can't even get into that. But I almost got on years ago, and it was because they had four sugar artists drop out back to back to
Oh,
back to back. Like I think all in the same
wow.
day, four people dropped out, and they're like, we don't have sugar artists. And they're
Oh.
like, please stay and film like even more. They wanted me to film for like two
Oh my
months straight.
gosh.
Uh,
Wow.
didn't
Yeah,
happen,
yeah.
but
Oh,
I was about ready to like stay in California for like 2 months
wow.
straight. It
That's
was rough.
insane. Yeah,
Yeah.
sugar artists are very hard to find. It's very true. Like, yeah, it was
Yeah.
kind of the same thing. Like, oh, you do cakes. Oh, you do sugar. Oh, sugar. Oh, you're a sugar person. And I'm like, I've only taken a couple classes. But
So like that's
I know, but
enough.
after being on the show and being thrown into all of it, I learned so much. And now I honestly, I think I would prefer the sugar. I know you said you'd like to do the cake, and maybe because you've done sugar so many times,
Really?
but I love the sugar. I think it's super
Yeah.
fun, but I just don't, yeah,
I
yeah, I just don't get to work with it very much, right?
I've
Yeah,
added it up.
yeah,
Yeah, like
yeah,
at
yeah.
home, you're
People
not
don't
using it
order
enough.
ice
Yeah.
malt anything. So it's just when you get on the show and it's like,
Oh,
oh,
they
yeah,
don't.
but yeah.
I learned like the tiniest amount of isomalt when I went to cake school. We did like one day, we did like a tiny little blown fish, and then we did a
Okay.
rose. And I was like, I don't like
Oh.
this. I just remember thinking like this is so dumb. Like I thought it was just so simple. Like I guess it was kind of cool, but I was like, I don't
Mhm.
see a way I could apply this to
Mhm.
cakes, and I just don't see the purpose behind it. And years later, Sydney
Mhm.
Galpern, who is the ice malt
Mhm.
queen of the industry, she decided to come to Utah to teach classes, and she had a couple classes set up, and I'm like, I don't need to learn ice
Mm-hmm.
malt. I already know. And anyways, then her classes sold out almost immediately. She had like one or two spots left on this marlin fish
Oh.
project. And she's like, "Oh, it's almost sold out." And I was like, "I have FOMO.
Yeah.
I want to sign up for this." Like suddenly I'm like, "Wait a minute, I
Yes.
need to learn." And so I signed up and I've been hooked ever
Mm-hmm.
since. I've taken like over 10 of Sydney's classes. I'm now a brand ambassador for her. She's so lovely. Her family's lovely. Like they're amazing. And they've come to Utah a bunch of times and I've taken so many classes and now I'm like now I'm a professional sugar artist and ice malt person on these shows. Like I've done 18 I just added it up. I've done 18 episodes of TV,
Mm-hmm.
and
Oh,
only one episode I have not done ice malt, and that was my very first Food Network show. And so that's 17
wow.
competitions where I have had to like
Wow.
yeah, figure out ice malt. And I'm like, you know what? It's so fun. But I think I but the fact is like I'm so good at cakes. I would like to show
Yeah,
what I can do with
absolutely.
cakes in a professional competition setting. And I do feel a little bit left out where it's like, but when the judges are like, well, you can do better. I'm like, I know I can do better, but like, I wish I could show you what I can
Oh,
do with
yeah, yeah,
cakes.
yeah, absolutely.
So that's where I'm
Yeah,
at with
yeah,
that
yeah. You deserve that chance. I really think you do. Yeah. It's coming your way. It's
someday.
coming your way. Tell the universe.
Okay. There's so many new shows, like a lot of shows are being dropped right now. A lot of new shows are
Hmm.
coming out. So just kind of waiting to see what opportunity
Yeah.
happens. And I've got to wait for my current contract to
Yeah.
run out.
Yeah. Me too. Me too. I'm with you.
See how that works out. Yeah, we've got as of next week we have 6 months till we can go
Yeah,
do other
that's
shows.
right. That's right. And that's what you need to get the excitement going again. Get over your PTSD, right? Like,
Yeah.
okay, now I'm ready. Yeah.
No, I just have PTSD with Holiday Wars.
Okay.
That's it.
Oh.
Just mostly just that show. I would immediately jump if I got casted for a show right now. Like I tried to do multiple shows this
Mhm.
last year. Like I am I want to go do other shows like
Yeah.
now. I'm hungry.
Yeah. Oh, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
Okay, so we've talked so much about all these Food Network shows. Super fun. Can't wait to see what else you are going to do. But I would love to talk about your business
Okay.
and just talk about that a little bit more. So, something I want to point out that I think a lot of people don't realize the value of and is what you name your business.
Hmm.
And just kind of giving some context here, you a couple years ago during the beginning of the pandemic, you took my very first wedding cake
Hmm.
masterclass. It definitely got better after that
I
first time
no.
because I think it was like,
I thought it was amazing.
well, because it was like,
Yeah. Yeah.
thank you. Okay, good. But it was like 4 days, and I realized no, this needs to be a 5 day workshop, and so I was able to fit a lot. Like it was a lot more
Hmm.
comfortable, and I'm not used to taking breaks. And I forgot to give you guys as students breaks, and you're like, when do we stop and eat? I'm like, oh yeah, sorry guys, I'm just
That's what happens
barreling
when you
through
do
this.
cakes. You never eat. You just keep going. Yeah. I
I
never eat
never
either.
ate.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like just go. Yeah.
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 Like you don't
Uh-uh.
even think about
You
being
don't. Yeah.
hungry. And so, like, you took this first class and, it was amazing. And I've taught that class so many times as well. And I've taught a lot of classes over the years. But the swiftness in which you were able to escalate your
Mhm.
business is unseen with
Mhm.
any of my other
Mhm.
students. And I remember just thinking like,
Cool.
what are you doing differently? Like a lot of my students have amazing portfolios. That's not what did it. And I think what really did it for you is the name of
Mm.
your business.
Mhm.
So, Cakes in the
Yeah.
City.
Yeah.
If anyone types in Utah
Mhm.
or Salt Lake City and you're like Cakes in the City, like I don't know, like your keywords that people are searching for is exactly what is in your business name. It's a fun business name. It sounds posh almost in a
Mhm.
way. And so I just love that, like, Also, your portfolio is amazing,
Well,
don't get
thank
me
you.
wrong. That also makes a huge
Yeah.
difference here, but I just wanna talk about, like, your business and maybe, like, what you specialize in and maybe some challenges or
Yeah.
awesome things that you wanna pat yourself on the
Oh, you're
back
so
for.
sweet. Well, okay, so I'll start with my name because I really struggled with the name. I was like, I thought for months and months before I started my business, like, what should I name it? It's got to be like the best thing ever, It's like super important. And I'm glad that I took the time to do that. And I knew it had to have the word cakes in it because I know, like, if you do searches, like, it's got to have cakes. And I was like, well,
SEO
yeah. And
friendly.
I wanted to have Utah. It had Utah on there. Well, actually, Utah kind of came at the end because it was like cakes in the city, and then the Utah was the end because there was already a Cakes in the City. So I was like, well, we'll name it Utah, which has been great because people that are doing destination weddings are like, cakes in Utah, they're searching for that, or whatever. And so it just pops me up, which is awesome. But anyway, we love this restaurant in Salt Lake City, and it's called Cakes and or Eggs in the City. Also, there's the show, Sex in the City. So I was like putting all these together, and I was like,
Yes.
well, I don't know. But we love this restaurant so much. And so my daughter's like, well, how about you name it Cakes in the City? And she was just little, I mean, probably like 7 years old or maybe even younger.
Oh, that's so
But she
cute.
knew that we loved that restaurant. And I was like, oh, that is perfect. And so she's actually the one that picked my name. And I was like, that is it. That's the one. That's what we're doing. So I do. I feel like I don't know. Once I started posting on Instagram, and I just try to figure out how the algorithms work and all the tags and stuff. And I'm still learning, right? It's always changing and it's hard. But I feel like that really did just like bump me right up to the top on the search engines. And so then I started getting just lots of orders, like so many orders that I was just like saying, no, I cannot take this many. It was just way too many orders coming in at once. So anyway, so then I've had to learn how to balance, right, family and cake. So I have 3 kids and a husband, and they're my priority. Like, I just started this business as like a side gig and a side thing, and just like blowing up. And so trying to figure out how to navigate that with my family life, and I really love doing cakes, and it's my passion, and it's so fun. Especially with the wedding cakes, I really just have this awesome. I don't know. I love wedding cakes because it's so fun to go and be part of someone's like most amazing day, and like the pressure of like the cake has to be perfect. You don't have a backup cake, right? You have to take it. It can't fall. Like nothing can go wrong. Like everything has to go just perfect. And for some reason, I thrive off of that. I'm like, it just has to, everything has to be in a row.
Yes.
And I don't know, it has to be there on time, like just all the things. And so I love that part of the business. So I don't know. So it's been a challenge for me, is like trying to navigate family life with the cake life. And it has been really difficult. Like, I have teenagers now, and we're super busy. They're all doing different musical instruments, and they're all very involved in school and all the things they're doing. And so trying to be there to be a mom for them and not have any regrets. And then also wanting to keep my business going and having something fun that I enjoy too. It's been very hard. Um, but I do feel like, this is also like a time and a season, right? We all go through those. And I feel like this time with my kids is precious and I'll never get it back. So I am trying to kind of give them that priority and taking orders as like, if I get a really cool order that I'm really excited about, I'll grab it. But otherwise, I'm kind of like taking a back seat with it. And I know that I can, rev everything back up in a couple more years and get going where I want, so, but yeah, I just don't have any regrets, right? People first. Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with things.
So, what is your motivation to do, like, Halloween and Holiday Wars? Is it kind of like, "Well, I wanna take a little bit of a step back and make sure I focus on my family," and that's just, like, something you leave for 2 weeks, you get all of this, like, excitement out, and you kind of maybe it's, like, something where it takes so little time, and then you can go right back to focusing on your family? Like, what is your motivation for
Yeah.
these extra things
Yeah.
that you're
And
doing?
I don't know. I feel like I've been really lucky. I've actually never applied for any shows. They've just all kind of fallen in my lap. They've just contacted me, and I'm like, you want me to be on the show? Like, cause I don't think I ever thought I was good enough to be on a show. I was like, no, like that's so far out there. There's no way. When they contacted me, I was like, oh my gosh, do you think I could really do it? And so that doing that first show was such a leap of faith. I was like, oh my gosh, like I just don't want to have any regrets. I want to see what could happen. And so I did. I took that jump, and it's been the same thing with the other shows. Like, they've just kind of come to me, and I'm like, hey, do I do it? Like, does it work with my family? I've had to say no to other shows because of different things. My daughter's in competition soccer, and we got games going on, or we have a family vacation or whatever. So I'm like, I got to have some priorities here. But I do feel like, yeah, being able to do those shows is also kind of a really cool thing for my kids. Like it's fun for them to like experience that with me and for them to see their mom like try something hard. And even if I don't, don't win, it's okay. Like if we learn from our experiences, or if we do, it's super fun. And we have watch parties at our house and just make it a fun thing so that they're involved too. And it becomes like a family, kind of a family thing instead of just about me too. Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm. I think a lot of people do have that mom
Mm-hmm.
guilt of trying to balance their family life while also doing things that benefits them or fulfills them in
Mm-hmm.
life. And so a lot of people have that guilt, but it seems like you're doing an amazing job balancing everything, being super mom at the same time. And you're teaching them to do these competitions and to hold your head up high. Like when they're doing soccer, like maybe they won't
Mm-hmm.
win and you can be like, "Well, guess what? I didn't win this time, but I won this other
Mm-hmm.
time and I'll still do it again," and maybe that will help them get right back out
Absolutely.
there and continue to pursue
Absolutely.
things. So, great
Oh,
role
thank you.
model
It is fun
day.
though, like when we're doing, I have a big cake order and it takes me, cakes don't take one day. I think a lot of people think that like, oh, just make me a cake. Like they call it 3 hours before. Can I order a cake? I'm like, I'm not a bakery. Like, like I'm not like that. I don't have all the supplies at my house. I have to go and shop for every little ingredient and plan for everything ahead of time. If I have to make anything out of fondant, and that has to be done beforehand. Or, if it was isomalt, I would have to, all these things have to be planned out. So it's not like a normal bakery. But anyway, so they take a while. So sometimes, we just have a family kitchen, just have a couple countertops. It's not very big. When we bought this house, we didn't plan on me having a bakery. This was never my, what I ever thought I would be doing. And so being thrown into it has been a different challenge, because my husband's like, hey, well, what are we having for dinner? And I'm like, well, I haven't had breakfast or lunch because I've been doing a cake and we don't eat. And so I've been smelling cake all day and I don't really want to
Relatable.
eat. I don't know. And anyway, so I'm like, yeah, I don't really know what's for dinner. Can you help? And so he's like, well, where can I make dinner? And I'm like, I don't know because all the countertops are just filled. I got baked cakes over here. We got frosting over here. And sometimes this will go on for a day or two or whatever, how long it takes to make the cake, right? You do them in
Yeah.
stages. So I'm like, well, the table's available, like the dinner table. You could go over there and like, make some grilled cheese sandwiches or something. But yeah, it is really hard to balance. It is a challenge. And as I'm doing cakes, I'm watching my house fall apart, right? My kids, I still have, a 10-year-old at home too. And
Yeah.
so everything's just falling apart around me. There's messes all over and I get done and there's a huge mess in the kitchen. And so sometimes it's very overwhelming and exhausting to be like, I'm still doing dishes at like 2 in the morning, trying to get this done. And then I got to be up to get my son up for school at 6 in the morning. It's really hard to balance everything. So but yeah, yeah, there's some mom guilt. So yeah,
But you do it.
yeah.
Yeah, well, I don't even have kids and I struggle to get through it. So I'm like, I don't know how
Yeah,
you guys are
yeah.
doing
It's called
it
middle of the night.
because it's
Uh-huh.
hard.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Well, like for example, my kitchen is a disaster right now. It
Mm.
is bad because I did, like a watch party a week ago and I made two tasting elements all
Mm.
morning and then the day after, like I stayed up all night and I ended up staying awake for 40 hours straight because
Oh
I
my
did my watch party and I
gosh.
had been baking since 3 o'clock
I
in
don't
the
know how you
morning
do
and then
that.
I at a
Oh,
I
yeah.
just do. I have endurance, and this is why I'm really good at competitions. But 11 o'clock at night last Sunday, it was like, oh, well, I haven't even started my edible props for it. We had a photo shoot the next day,
Mm-hmm.
and you were on that one,
Mm-hmm.
right? We
Uh-huh.
just
Yeah.
did. I can't even track this
Yeah.
anymore. But anyways, it was like we were supposed to do this edible photo shoot the next day at a
Mm-hmm.
diner, and we were supposed to make all this edible food. And I'm like, I haven't even
Oh.
started. And so after my family leaves, and everyone's taking their time leaving that night,
Mm-hmm.
and it was like, finally, I get into my kitchen, I lightly clean it, and I started at 11 o'clock
Oh.
at night, and I stayed the whole night making
Wow.
this edible prop, and it was like a tray, and it was a BLT sandwich and fries and a root
And
beer
it was
float all made out of
amazing. It was
sugar.
amazing. You did so
Thank
good. Yeah.
you. I did more than I expected. I'm like, maybe a burger and call it a day. And so, but of course, like I always have to go above and beyond. And I didn't realize I could pull off as much as I did in a
Mhm.
short time. But anyways, so I made this like whole hyper realistic prop for this photo shoot, stayed up all night, had to go do the shoot, spent hours doing that. I had to feed my niece, who was staying with me that day and helped with the
Mhm.
photo shoot. And then she's like, I'm hungry. And I'm like, well, I haven't eaten since yesterday. I guess I'm hungry too. Have to feed her. And then like we get back to my house. I passed
Wow.
out. Okay. I was knocked out. I'd been awake for 40
Yeah.
hours straight. I'm
Yeah.
dead to the world. She's trying to wake me up to get me to play
Oh,
video games with her. She tried to wake me up multiple times, and I'm like, "I
yeah.
can't do it.
Yeah.
I can't." And then I have not touched my kitchen since. It's been a
Uh-huh.
full week. And so it's like I do have the benefit of I don't actively have kids around, and so and I have my own separate
Oh,
kitchen, and I'm like, "Well, if I'm hungry, I'll go upstairs and go help myself
yeah.
in my
Uh-huh.
parents' kitchen."
Uh-huh.
So it's like, I don't
Yeah.
know how people
Yeah.
like you are able to keep up with all
Yeah.
these projects and cake orders and all of that and clean up after yourselves immediately all the
Mhm.
time and feed
Mhm.
people
Mhm.
in that same kitchen. Like that to me is impressive because I'm like, I
Yeah.
can barely
Yeah.
function and get through all of this. And I don't even
Right.
have like I have the benefit of an extra kitchen. I have the
Right.
benefit of not having kids actively around all the time that are, asking for
Yeah,
food.
yeah. Or they're like, "Oh, I gotta go to soccer
Little
practice," and I'm like, "Well,
scraps.
the cake's in the oven, I can't leave." Or you have to time everything
Oh,
just
that's
right. Like,
hard.
yeah, everything has to be like, "Hey, well, I can't do this till later. I gotta wait. I gotta do this. This has to go back in the fridge, right? You can't have ingredients out for too long. You gotta like all the things." So it is very tricky. It's hard, but I dream of having another kitchen.
That's why you're good with
I don't know. I
competitions.
don't know.
You're good at competitions because 'cause you're
I
good at
don't
juggling
know.
things.
I
What
don't
were you
know.
saying?
What was I gonna say? Oh, I would die. That would be amazing to like just like leave your project out. You're still working on it. Like you don't have to
Yep.
clean it up and move it and re-sanitize and do all, I'm like, oh, that's a dream. Someday. Someday. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I would say, like, my poor husband, he's not really allowed in
Mhm.
the kitchen. Like, he's in around the kitchen,
Yeah.
but also he doesn't clean up after himself, so I'm like, "Get
Mhm.
out of here." But he's used to it. Again, he can go upstairs. He eats at the gas station all the time. I honestly don't see him eating. I'm like, "Where
Oh.
what are you eating?" Um, but every now and then he'll make a sandwich, but it's like the space like the little tiny counter space in front of the
Mhm.
sink. That's usually where he builds the
Yeah.
sandwich. And it's just
Oh.
like, "Thanks,
Yeah.
clean up after
Yeah.
yourselves. That's great." I do all the dishes
Oh.
anyways, so I do clean
Yeah.
up after
Yeah.
him, but
That's crazy. It's
yeah, it's
crazy.
hard. So, okay, going from all this, like, what are you looking forward to moving forward? What
Yeah,
is
yeah,
your
I
goal?
wish I had
Your
yeah.
dream?
I wish I had a better answer, like, I feel like I'm just in survival mode, and so, like, for example, when these shows, like, fall in my lap,
Yeah.
I'm like, "Oh my gosh, do I wanna do this? I wasn't really planning on it." Like, I'm just kind of like the opportunities have just come my way, and I've been really blessed that way, I don't know for sure what I wanna do with it, I don't know. There's so many opportunities and so many different ways it could go, and I think I'm just open to whatever does come my way. Does that make sense? And just kind of seeing, I don't know. I
Mhm.
don't know. And maybe I'll be at a different place in a couple years when I'm like, hey, now I can focus on this. This is my priority now. But yeah, right now I'm just like trying to
Mhm.
survive and get by and be there for my family and yeah, just one day at a time right now. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
It's not
That's
not
awesome.
super
You
interesting.
know, you're open to the possibilities of what
Mhm.
could be, but you're still doing wedding
Mhm. Mhm.
cakes.
Yep, yep, yep. I'm still doing
Okay.
them. But yeah, being a little more selective, like, hey, that cake's inspiring to me. Like that is something that I want to like a passion, more of a passion cake that I want to do, something I haven't done before. A lot of times you'll get the same orders over and over, like, I want that cake you did. And I'm like, yeah, I made it like 3 times, is that worth me missing this of my kids, whatever they're doing? And so sometimes I do have to pick and choose what is the right thing for me and my family. And yeah, and a lot of times I am busy. It's hard to fit them in. I can only take so many orders. In fact, I have so many orders that I have done. I haven't even posted them since like March. I probably have like 20 that I need to like still put in there, but there's no time. It's so busy. So we'll get there.
Oh
Yeah,
my
yeah.
goodness. Okay. Well, let's talk about more like photo
Mhm.
shoots. Like I guess like, we've been doing a lot of photo shoots and collaborative projects, I don't know what you get out of that, what you plan on doing with that and if you wanted to expand outside cuz
Mhm.
like me for example, like I travel and I go teach at expos and so like getting my name out there helps me to sell those
Mhm.
classes
Mhm.
and stuff like that. So I don't know like what your if you're planning on doing anything there
Yeah.
or
Right,
what you
right.
get out of
Yeah.
it.
Like I don't know if I care about so much about being like a famous cake baker or whatever. Like I want to enjoy what I'm doing and make beautiful things and make, people's events like really exciting and happy. I want them to be like, our wedding cake was amazing. I'm going to remember it for the rest of my life. Like we'll always remember what it tasted like and what it looked like and how everyone oohed and awed over it. Like I want to create art that's beautiful, but I don't think I have to be like, I don't know, just super famous or anything. So like it's been really
Yeah.
fun doing these like edible photo shoots. As you know, there's a bunch, a group of us here in Utah that have been getting together and doing them. And I don't know what everyone's motivation is for them. I think they just have started out to be fun. Like, let's just challenge ourselves. Like, what could we make? Like, kind of like the Is It Cake show, right? Like, can we make stuff that looks real? And like, people will be like, whoa, oh my gosh. I think the first one I did was with you and Mandy, and we did the Alice in Wonderland, and you guys had said, okay, because I was a
Mhm.
beginner, and you're like, hey, let's have you do like the books, and like all these little different books we're going to put on the tea table and stuff. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's so much pressure. Like, because I was like, I had never done anything like that before in my life, like a realistic, real
Yeah.
thing. And I spent so many hours trying to perfect it and make it just right. And to, you guys were so talented. And I'm like, oh, I just want to be able to like, not let you guys down and like, I don't know. So that was kind of my first thing is like, I just wanted to like learn. And I think it's like it was like a friendly environment to be able to learn how to do those things, right? Like we're with friends and we're doing something fun, and you're challenging yourself of doing things you would never get a cake order for, right? Like, so I think that's why I've really
Yeah.
enjoyed them. I'm like, oh, this is cool. Like what can I do? Like to push your skills to the next level. So it's kind of fun. It's just fun to see what you can create, and yeah. So.
Yeah, hyperrealism it's not something you often get requested for cake
Mhm.
orders to do. Uh, and when we started doing it, that was not really a
Yeah.
thing yet. Like you had Natalie Sidesurf, who was very popular online for her hyper
Hmm.
realistic cakes. But I did this strawberry potted plant. No, I did two photo shoots. So I did a little Christmas
Hmm.
one in my living room where I wrapped lights around me and the lights had ice melt bulbs on them, and
Oh,
then I had these
I
antlers. It was
never.
not great, and I was, like, taking
Yeah, I
selfies.
never saw that.
I think I did
You
post
did?
them. Yeah,
I'll
I'll
have to
send you
look, yeah.
pictures. But I did this, like I still have the antlers. I had these, like, antlers that were gold, and I'm, like, in a sweater, and I shot this in my parents' living
Mhm.
room and at night so you could see the lights behind me, and I'm, like, posing with these, like, Christmas
Yeah.
lights, and my dad, like, walks in, he's like, "What is
Oh.
happening?" Like, he was just, like, laughing at me. I'm like, Stop, dude. Like, I promise this is fun. This is a cool idea,
Yeah.
okay?" I think that was my very first one. And then I did a strawberry potted plant. I think it was like January, February, which I've turned into now like a online tutorial for my 3D
Mhm.
cake masterclass. So I think my strawberry potted plant was like my first actual
Yeah.
good one. And but I guess we'll say that's the official first one I did. And then I had just recorded some video with it, and then Is It Cake dropped.
Ah.
And I had this like video of me eating the strawberry potted plant and I had like I didn't know what
Yeah.
to do for the voiceover or the sound or any of that. And Is It Cake dropped, and I was like, this is the perfect opportunity.
Mm.
And so I did a voiceover like, hey, Netflix, you need to cast me for season 2 of Is It Cake? And
Yeah.
sitting here eating this
Yeah.
strawberry potted plant. And it blew up. Either, I think it got close to a million views.
Wow.
So,
Yeah. Yeah.
semi viral. And, I just was like,
Yeah.
"This is it," and so that craze happened at the exact same time, and then we did the Alice in Wonderland photo shoot a couple months after that dropped because it was, like, January, February, and then we did that shoot in, like,
Mhm.
spring or something.
Mhm.
So yeah, and it's just been fun to see, like, the craze of hyperrealism take off
Yeah.
even more, and then doing these hyperrealistic cakes and, like, showing how we do okay, I would say, like, with the edible props is extra fun because it's not just, "Well, here's, like, a really realistic cake that
Mhm.
I made that is sitting on a plate, and then I'm cutting into it like a lot of people are doing online." It was I was like, I want to get these cakes off of cake boards. I want them to stop being so
Mhm.
static.
Mhm.
And I want to be able to interact with them. And so there's an extra challenge of making these hyper realistic cakes beyond what a lot of other people are doing, where it's like, this is a teapot that I can hold by the handle and I can pour water out of the teapot because the whole thing is made out of chocolate. And here's like something that I'm wearing on my costume, and here's something that I don't know,
Yeah.
stepping on.
Ah.
I'm trying to think of all the different ones we've done. But being able to mix all these mediums together and try to make them as realistic as possible, as well as, can I pick
Mhm.
this up? Can I pose with it? Can I like do some really cool,
Mhm.
interesting shots and look
Yeah,
pretty while
yeah,
doing it? So it's just like, it's a really fun
yeah.
added challenge and layer to be able to figure out how to hold
Right,
these
right.
projects and like make them look like they're
Yeah.
part
Well,
of
and
the
don't you think it
set.
kind of brings it back full circle to the shows? I think that's also a lot. Like, I think that is kind of, we all were starting to kind of do shows at that time. And pretty much all the people that we have been doing those edible photo shoots have all been on shows now. And so I think it kind of like has sparked that, like, oh, what could we create? Like that we would be like on a show. Like, can we do that? Can we, and then also to help get a little bit more noticed, maybe by the like, the networks that are doing these shows to maybe be on more. And I don't know. I think that might be some people's motivation. And yeah, I don't know. Maybe
I
not.
I think it's kind of
Yeah.
hard. Yes and no. I don't know if it's necessarily helped my
Yeah.
portfolio, or I've had a few videos go viral, but not like some of them
Hmm.
flop really bad. And I'm like, is it because like people like at the very beginning of the video, or when people are looking at the portfolio of what I'm
Yeah.
sending, they don't
Yeah.
realize they're looking at
Yeah.
something that's cake? And so it's like, here I am, like sending in a photo of me holding a
Hmm.
milkshake. They're like,
Yeah.
okay, this
Yeah.
girl's vain. And I don't think they realize I'm literally sending them
Yes.
pictures of
Yes.
cake.
Absolutely.
You know what I
100%.
mean?
I feel the same way.
And
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
yeah, and so I feel like in some ways it's not helping my
Hmm.
portfolio.
Hmm.
'Cause I sometimes like I started doing collages
Ah.
when I'm like sending in my portfolio to try and get casted for shows, where it's like, here's me posing with a milkshake, but here's me
Yeah.
with like, or here's just the milkshake with a bite
Yes. They
taken
can
out
see this is
of
actual
it.
cake.
So
Yeah.
you can see.
Yes.
Yeah, and so I've had to, like, started making collages
Oh.
of each individual, like,
Hmm.
hyper realistic cake, because in some ways, like, yeah, like, people see a video online, and unless they see that it's a cake
Hmm. Yeah.
immediately,
Like,
they're
what is
like,
that?
you just did a
Yeah.
random. Yeah, you just did a you did a
Yeah.
photo shoot,
Right.
big whoop, you know? But it's like, "No, but my
Yeah.
project
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
cake." So, yes and no.
Yes.
Yes and no. It can help,
Yes.
but sometimes I think actually gets
Absolutely.
in the
Yeah, I know
way.
I just posted our masquerade. I did the mask. And I'm like, people probably just think
I
it's a
saw that,
mask.
yeah.
But I'm like, no, that's made from fondant and isomalt and all the things. So yeah, but like, yeah, I don't think people realize that that's what they are. Like, this is edible.
Well, because not everyone
Yeah,
reads the
right, right.
captions.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, they just see a picture and they're
Yeah.
like, "Scroll, scroll,
And let's be
scroll."
honest, it's
Yeah,
just fun. I think it's fun for all of us to get together. I think we all really enjoy being around each other and just have a good time. And it's just fun. It's fun to see what we can create together. It's fun.
yeah. I think it's fun, like, we get paid to play with other people's food, and so we like to get real weird with it and, try and think outside the box of what else
Yeah,
can we
yeah.
do here? And so I do like that added layer, and there's some weird, like, I I get some weird sick enjoyment off of destroying cake.
Uh-huh.
Like, most of what we make gets destroyed and eaten, and there are very few projects I have
Oh,
kept in good condition where I'm like, "I am never gonna break this.
oh,
This is my baby." But everything else, I'm like, "Yeah, like, I can't wait to break it open on camera and
yes.
eat it and
Oh, you're
throw the
so
rest away,
funny.
and, I'll never see this
I am
project
just the
again."
opposite of
Yeah.
you. Like, I have almost everything saved. I should show you.
Really?
It's kind of a mess though. But I've just
I
kept
just
it all,
throw
and I'm
away
like, I
so
need to
much,
start
yeah.
getting rid of some of it. So, like, if you want to come bite stuff, come eat it. Like, go ahead, come on over. But yeah,
Come eat all your
yeah, come on
expired
over.
cake.
Chocolate, isomalt, fondant, it's all good.
No.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, no. My milkshake is getting moldy. It
Oh,
really needs to be
yeah,
thrown away because it's
yeah,
real cake, and then I tried to keep it
yeah,
after it's mold.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's fun.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, okay. This has been really fantastic. Love getting to know you, Kim. I can't wait to see what you have coming up in the future, and good luck with your business. And if anyone wants to follow you,
yeah.
where
So the
can they
best place
follow
is on
you?
Instagram. It's just cakesinthecity.utah, and also on Facebook. I don't have a website. I'm terrified of making a website because then the business will get bigger and bigger and bigger, and I'm not ready for that
Really?
yet. So in the future, I have, yeah.
Well, maybe your cakes will get more elaborate, but you can
Yes,
take
so
less. So
maybe I
maybe
know
in a
it's
way,
been there. I
elections
have
will
I
be
have a
better for
domain
you.
name, so it's the same thing. It's just I'm trying to remember. Yeah, www.cakesinthecity.utah I think is the same thing. So eventually, there you might see a website there, but in time, right? Times and seasons. So yeah,
Yeah,
it's good. Thank you so much for
I love
having
it.
me. I really appreciate it. It's been fun.
Yeah, of course. Okay, so thank you so much. And I'm gonna see you all the time, but everyone else for watching, thank
Um,
you for joining us. This is Kimberly Rivers, and we're both in Utah. And thanks for joining us with Hope Sugar Collective. You can follow along on YouTube under Neo Sugar Rush, as well as we're on Spotify and Apple, and I'll be cross-posting all over the place. And I'm your host, Emerly. And yes. So make sure that you like, subscribe, interact, get to know us, and join in for other episodes where we get to highlight other people who are in the industry who are doing amazing things with cake and sugar and playing with food and see what comes out of that. So thank you so much for joining us, and we'll talk to you next time. Bye.